Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and today going to talk, the last few days kind of been talking about adversity, been talking about the culture down in Knoxville and the rebuild that Josh Heupel has ahead of him. And, I know some people, the reaction was kind of mixed. Some people agree, and some people understand where Tennessee is at as a program. Meanwhile, other people, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about moral victories. They don't want to hear about the culture. None of that matters. All that matters are wins and losses. And I feel like some people talk out of both sides of their mouth. I feel like some people say, Josh Heupel, when he got hired, look at Tennessee, a terrible hire. They couldn't get who they wanted. Why didn't they go get this guy or that guy or Lane Kiffin? They weren't satisfied with the hire. Now, they also talk about how Tennessee doesn't have any talent. They say that people are crazy for saying Tennessee is going to win 6 or 7 games. But then on the flip side of that, they're upset when Tennessee goes toe-to-toe with a team like Pitt. I think we have to sit back and look at it realistically. We have to realize where this football program is at, exactly what Josh Heupel has in front of him. We're going to look at all of that and more coming up here in just 1 second. Do you guys want to get an advantage over your sports book? You need to head over to the App Store or the Google Play Store. Download BetQL, the only app you need to make smart bets. Their computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. Also gives you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from spreads to over-unders and player prop bets. But I know how some of you guys are. You don't always listen. You want to play armchair quarterback, and that's fine. If you want to do the work yourself, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. Sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movements, you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. They've also got great team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over-under. So go to try.betql.co/VAWLS to get started now. Going to drop all the links in the description below, but if you use that promo code VAWLS at checkout, you're going to save 25% on all subscription offerings. They also have a deal where you can get an entire year of BetQL for free. So jump in the description below. Check that out, BetQL. Also, just a quick note for all you NFL guys out there, BetQL, their algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets for week 1 NFL games between Thursday and Sunday. So make sure you guys go check that out. But let's get into this article. It's from A to Z Sports. Again, I wasn't really going to make a video today. I was going to kind of just relax, take the day off, and then bring my 5 reasons why video tomorrow. But let's take a look. This is another good article from Zach Reagan over at A to Z Sports. Says Tennessee football, Josh Heupel acknowledges major issue facing VAWLS, but he won't use it as an excuse. That's something that this fan base is tired of hearing. This fan base does not want to hear excuses, but there's a fine balance there with being realistic. We saw Butch Jones, the king of all excuses. And then we saw Jeremy Pruitt, who routinely threw his players under the bus, saying they weren't good enough and he would just have to go out and recruit better players. So there's a fine balance there. But let's take a look at the article and make a few points here. Tennessee Vols head coach Josh Heupel doesn't like to make excuses. There are plenty of challenges facing Heupel in his quest to rebuild the Tennessee program. A looming NCAA investigation is having a negative impact on recruiting. The uncertainty of that investigation is almost as bad as any potential penalties the NCAA could announce. A bigger challenge, however, is the Vols' depth. Talks about Tennessee lost numerous players to the transfer portal after 2020. Several of those players were starters who would have been key players for the Vols this season. Of course, it rattles off some there. Henry To'oto'o, Eric Gray, Wanya Morris, Key Lawrence, and Ty Chandler. And that's something going into the season that we talked a lot about. This football team has some talent. They do. They've got talent in the running back room. They've got talent in the wide receiver room. They've got some talent sprinkled all across that offense and defense, both sides of the ball. But the problem going into this season, we all knew it. Most of us that have our finger on the pulse of what's going on with Tennessee football realize the lack of depth that this team has. And that's why, when you look at Cade Mays playing tackle instead of guard, Cade Mays is meant to be a guard. That is the position for him to shine. But because of lack of depth on that offensive line, because of the injury to Calvert, and then week 1, Cooper Mays goes down. Glenn Ellerby talked about having 10 guys ready to go on that offensive line. They do not have 10 guys ready to go. With the 2 injuries, I don't know that they have 7 or 8 guys ready to go, because we are seeing, and I'm not throwing Ollie Lane under the bus, but Ollie Lane is not the same as having Cade Mays inside at guard. The lack of depth is a problem. Look at the running back position. That running back room is full of talent. But Jabari Small goes down. Tyon Evans has to miss the game against Pitt. All of a sudden, you're down to a true freshman in Jalen Wright out there competing. Lack of depth. We talked a lot about the transfer portal and how Josh Heupel went out, got guys in the transfer portal, and say what you want about them. You can say, well, they're just another guy, or, they're this or they're that, or they weren't world beaters, Boogie. That's why they entered the transfer portal to begin with. But look at the guys that Josh Heupel went and got and how they're contributing to this team. Look at Juwan Mitchell, led Texas in tackles. I felt like he didn't really show up in week 1, but I felt like I looked at the PFF grades. He graded out pretty well against Pitt. I'm not saying that he's a world beater. I'm not saying he's all SEC. I'm not saying he's an All-American. But what I'm saying is this football team has a lack of depth. So when you go out and you get a guy like Juwan Mitchell, look at the quarterback position. Say what you want about Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker, but that's your starting quarterback and your backup quarterback, both brought in through the transfer portal. Look at Javonte Payton, a guy that's getting a lot of run out there at wide receiver. I want to see if a guy like Turnage can make it onto the field this week. I think Tennessee's going to play a lot of players. I don't know that Turnage necessarily showed up in football shape when he transferred to Tennessee. But the transfer portal is how Josh Heupel can rebuild this program in a hurry. I think he's going to go out and he's going to get his recruits on offense. I talked about that a little bit yesterday. But you can utilize that transfer portal to rebuild this football team and plug and play. The transfer portal is going to change college football. We're going to see a lot of guys. We're going to see a lot of guys enter that portal every single year. I know the quarterback position has struggled, but how many guys have we seen running free in the first 2 weeks of this season? When is the last time we have seen Tennessee score this many points? It's not going to be a hard pitch to go sell a quarterback. Hey, can you throw the deep ball? Look, I got guys running free all over the field. I got a quarterback coming in Taven Jackson. You want to come play wide receiver? We'll get you open. Taven Jackson will deliver the ball. The article goes on to say on Wednesday night during an appearance on Ball Calls, Heupel was asked about Tennessee's depth. He acknowledged that's a major issue, but he was also quick to point out that lack of depth doesn't make the loss to Pittsburgh this week sting any less. He said, I would assume we are the thinnest team in the country just based on pure scholarship numbers. We're at, I think, 71 guys right now. That lends itself to being really thin at every position. Again, going back to the injuries. There is talent in that running back room, but when the top 2 guys are on the sideline and you're relying on a true freshman, that's lack of depth. Say what you want about Ty Chandler, but if this football team had Eric Gray, they had Ty Chandler and Jabari Small and Tyon Evans, now all of a sudden the depth at running back is looking a lot better. Says as we continue to go through this season, there's going to be guys that go down. The challenge is the next guy up. Nobody cares at the end of the day. They're going to look at the scoreboard when the clock ticks 0, and you're either good enough or you're not. That's what I love about it. You get all week to prepare. You get one 60-minute clock. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are at. And that's okay. I get it. I get it. You don't want to hear that Tennessee was competing, that they were fighting against Pitt. All you see is the clock hit 0 and Tennessee lost. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. Heupel follows it up. There's no asterisk in your win-loss record based on who was injured and who wasn't available. We've got to continue. Our young guys have got to grow up really quick, and that comes in the form of preparation. It comes in the form of practice. It comes in the form of competing extremely hard every single day. It would certainly be easy for Heupel to make excuses. The Vols are set up to have 9 or 10 win season this year due to the lack aren't set up to have a 9 or 10 win season this year due to the lack of depth the team possesses, but Heupel doesn't see it that way. He understands there's a lot of work to be done at Tennessee. However, he also expects to win. I get it, guys. At the end of the day, it does not matter. All that matters are wins and losses. Saw some good things Saturday, saw some bad things, saw some things to clean up. Tennessee's going to have a week against Tennessee Tech. On Saturday, they're going to have a week to clean things up, to make things right, to figure it out, because the gauntlet is coming. They're going to have to figure something out against Florida, Missouri, Kentucky. The gauntlet's there. Leave me a comment, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think should we be patient? Should we be patient? Are people valid for bringing out the torches and the pitchforks? I think we need to calm down, realize where this football program is out. Let's go find a way to win 6 games. Let's let Josh Heupel recruit. Let's let Josh Heupel get his guys in place. If 3 years from now we're not seeing progress, then it's going to be time to get out the torches and the pitchforks. But I'm going to judge Josh Heupel on what he does. If you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. It helps the algorithm, helps the analytics. It helps builds the channel. We appreciate any and all support that you guys give us. Tell somebody about Talkin' Vols. Tell them it is for the fans, by the fans. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are fans just like you, trying to create a platform where you guys can come hang out post-game. Let your voice be heard. Talk to other fans, similar mindsets. All opinions welcome. Just keep it civil. That's all we ask. Also, you can check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. Just go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. The links to all of this are in the description below. But if not, just do me a favor, smash that thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.